Hey, everyone. Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. Hope you're doing well, and it's time to talk about the XXL Freshman 2020 class. The Freshman Cover Institution is back with a new crop of artists, or, new-ish for the most part. And I want to go over everyone here, their respective styles, how much I'm messing with any of their stuff, and what I expect or hope to see from them in the future. Also hoping to cover whatever comes out of the freshman class as far as content on the XXL side as well. I don't know if the pandemic is going to be impacting the freestyles or how they do the ciphers or anything like that. Fingers crossed, I suppose. And let's just not waste any time and get into the names, starting with the lowest left quadrant and then working clockwise. We have Rod Wave, an artist that I think is a pretty interesting inclusion here because arguably he has been around for a little bit now. I mean, man has 2 commercial albums under his belt at this point, and to an extent, they were both hitting. I mean, the guy has been around. He could have easily been a XXL freshman in 2019 if I guess they were searching for the type of thing he was delivering at that time. But he brings forward a pretty mellow combination of trap and R&B. The dude's talent is very obviously there. Is he my favorite thing? Is he the type of artist that's blowing me away personally? No, but I see his inclusion on this list. I respect it. Makes sense. However, I'm not sure if into the future he's really going to be like switching up styles in a major way or anything like that. I mean, he seems like the kind of guy who is making the kind of sound exactly what he wants to make. It's a little trendy. It's straightforward. It's cut and dry. I don't really sort of anticipate huge evolution from him in the future, but I guess we'll see. Then moving on from there, we have a Southern rapper operating out of Atlanta, Georgia, who I guess got a bit of a career startup through this Lifetime reality series, The Rap Game, Mulatto. She has some tracks that are really, really, really hitting right now, and from what I understand, she was also included in the WAP music video for a second there, too. Stylistically and lyrically, I don't see a lot that is super special or stand out about Mulatto. I mean, her songs definitely hit. They are bangers. She's got attitude. She has a bit of a dark and commanding sound and tone of voice on the mic, but in a wave of Cardi B's and Megan Thee Stallions and Rico Nasties and so on and so forth. Just so much great and standout female talent out there at the moment. Considering, that's kind of the landscape. I mean, not only am I surprised that there aren't, more rappers like that included in this list, but does Mulatto really stick out in a significant way in that field? In my opinion, no, but I suppose there's always room and time for growth. Then moving on from there, we have Fivio Foreign, a New York rapper who is pretty well associated with the drill scene, the burgeoning drill scene out there that's obviously kind of cycling back around and borrowing sounds from the UK drill scene. Considering how hot that is at the moment, I think it's a great thing that they're kind of including an artist like him. From what I understand, Pop Smoke was originally intended to be on this cover as well, and we'll get into him a little bit later, but Lil Tjay, a New York-based artist too, has also dabbled in that sound a bit. So if Pop Smoke were here, and even without Pop Smoke, I mean, there's quite a bit of representation of this wave on this cover. So, I think ultimately it's a great thing they took the time to include artists who are kind of representing that. But anyway, Fivio Foreign, I think, is, without, Pop Smoke here, one of the better New York drill artists out there at the moment. Has some huge songs under his belt, pretty bold vocal delivery, and his songs are just really hedonistic. They are just a toxic whirlwind of drugs and sex and a whole host of other things. And they're fun. They're fun. They're entertaining. They are just totally electrifying in terms of energy. And I don't know. I mean, if there's going to be an artist out there that's going to expand this genre and continue to grow its listener base and continue to grow the share of attention it's getting in the hip hop landscape, I think it's going to be him. You know what I mean? He's going to be somebody who I think has the potential to grow this sound and sort of bring it to the next level. Then from there, 24K Golden, who personally I'm a little on the fence with. He is a San Francisco artist who does have some bangers out there that I think are quite good, but for the most part, he's got a lot of cuts from his back catalog where he's incorporating elements of pop rock, and it's a bit of an emo trap thing, a lot of very whiny, somewhat nasal lead vocals, which is still a very popular sound and style right now, but I mean, so many artists who have been the torchbearers for that have met premature ends, whether it be Lil Peep or whether it be Juice WRLD, and I suppose, it does make sense to have at least one spot on the cover with someone who is representing that sound and sort of, showcasing the next artist or the next step or the next up when it comes to bringing that to the table. He also seems to have a pretty mean sense of humor as well. So I don't know. I'm somewhat curious right now. I'm somewhat curious at this time, and I'll wait, to be impressed, I suppose. But he's certainly someone to watch out for. Next in the list, it's Polo G, who I have talked about pretty extensively before, reviewed him on the main channel already. If you're not familiar with his stuff, I recommend that you check out the review for his new record, The GOAT. Going forward, I've said this in my review, I think he could be hopping on some better production and stuff, but as of right now, I think he is a talented lyricist, good storyteller, good vocalist, and he seems to know his way around a song structure as well. I think he has one of the brightest futures out of anybody who is in this list right now, and considering how hot he is at the moment and how fresh his career is, I think he's a great inclusion. And also, a couple of records under his belt at this point, so it is what it is in terms of like the newness of the artists who are on this list. Following that, we have Calboy, who I'm not a huge fan of. He is an Illinois native, and I mean, if you're huge into artists like A Boogie With a Hoodie, I think you'll get into his kind of nasally, melodic trap style. I mean, a lot of violent content, a lot of drug content in what he's doing. I mean, it's not terrible for what it is, but historically it's not been a type of sound that I've been super crazy about, but I know there are people who sort of love that shit. And, if that's your thing, I would say go for it. Calboy all fucking day. Following that, we have NLE Choppa, who I've actually been heavy into a lot of his recent shit. I've been listening to Top Shotta quite a bit and loving a lot of tracks off that project. I think he's had one of the more interesting independent come-ups as of late, though I know he's on Warner Brothers right now. Dude hails from Memphis, and what makes him so exciting for me on this list is that he has one of the most exciting and electrifying deliveries of this whole cover. The way this dude spits, while he's not the most lyrical or woke or substantive rapper out there, he really fucking means everything coming out of his mouth. You really feel every word. I think he's got some good vocal lines on his projects too. Dude is not afraid to go melodic, and when he does, his singing voice is pretty decent. But for the most part, he is just like a fucking beast on these nasty, grimy trap beats, where he just sounds monstrous on these cuts. And, his whole Shotta Flow series, I think, has gone over really well, and I think he's sort of managed and navigated his way through the hip-hop industry so far in a really smart and effective way. And I think that alone and his very exciting, youthful energy is going to keep him pretty popular for at least a while. Following that, we have Lil Keed. Lil Keed, who I'll say I thought was mildly interesting and had quite a bit of potential when he dropped his Long Live Mexico project, which I thought had some standouts on it, seemed a little left field, seemed a little weird, like it could be going somewhere interesting, but now he just put out this Trapped on Cleveland 3 tape on Young Thug's Young Stoner Life. I don't know, on that album, he just sounds like another super derivative, annoying Thugger clone, and while I know that hits and people love that shit, people love the shit out of Gunna, people love the shit out of Lil Baby, people seem to love the shit out of everybody and anybody who is just so blatantly and obviously copying Young Thug, and Young Thug is happy to sign them when they're willing to hop on his label. I mean, it's a good business model for Thugger. I mean, shout out to him for being, the genius to do it. But I don't know. I just don't really see Lil Keed at this point as anything more than just a Thugger clone. I mean, maybe the most unexciting inclusion on this whole list. And frankly, I think a lot of tracks off of his new tape are annoying. I just don't really see a lot of future in Thugger clones because like your entire career is going to be dictated by how popular the artist you're copying is. And thankfully, Thugger is a pretty enigmatic and magnetic and exciting figure who always seems to be changing things up significantly and always comes through with great features. And, his last project is easily one of his best. So, I mean, that's all good. That's all great. But just kind of remains to be seen what anybody who's been living in his shadow is going to be doing beyond him. And so far, it doesn't really seem like much. And Lil Keed, I think, has maybe the least potential of everybody so far. But I suppose we will see. I guess I'll eat my words if that ends up changing. From there, we have Chika, who is easily the most conscious of the rappers in the bunch here. She had that Industry Games EP that dropped a little while back. That's some great standouts on it. She's easily one of the most traditionally and legitimately talented artists of the bunch. I mean, she had that really great neo soul single with some really good singing on it, You Should, that dropped recently that had some Lauryn Hill vibes on it. And, she's a really talented rapper and lyricist too. So nothing really negative to say about Chika. I think she maybe has the brightest future of anyone in the bunch here, but that's going to depend on what she ends up doing with her debut full-length album when that ends up coming out. Hopefully it's 2020, 2021 at the latest, because surely that's going to be a very soulful, passionate, thoughtful project that you can really kind of chew over and most likely will have layers to it. Moving on from there, Lil Tjay, another New York artist who I'll say like Calboy. He has huge tracks, getting a lot of traction. It's that very nasally, melodic flow and delivery. As far as a New York artist goes, he's a bit of an all-arounder. He has those more melodic cuts. He has some straight trap bangers, and he even has like a new song out that goes more in that New York drill direction. I don't know if he has like a super definite sound as of right now, but I'll say vocally, just the tone of his voice and how sloppy some of his flows get, I can't. I just can... I cannot. I'm not into it. I think it's kind of annoying, but again, like the Calboy thing, if that's your style, if that's your sound, you should most definitely be fucking with him. Then moving on from there, we have Baby Keem, who is a Las Vegas native and pretty eccentric. He had a record, Die For My Bitch, come out last year, and he's got a lot of somewhat hot tracks where he just has the wildest, most disrespectful, most out there fucking lyrics and attitude. Like, dude clearly has a very left field sense of humor. Sometimes just his charisma and his very weird attitude is enough to get him by on a song. Will that do him justice going forward when it comes to full-length projects, long mixtapes, long records? Not necessarily. So he's able to kind of build his personality and build his current talent set into something a bit more ambitious and versatile into the future. I guess we'll see. But as of right now, I think he is one of the more left field voices on this cover. I'm glad he's represented here because, it is nice to every once in a while have somebody on the cover who's kind of a left hook, a bit of a weirdo, a bit of a wild card. Baby Keem certainly fills that role, fills that spot. And then finally, we have Jack Harlow, Kentucky native, who is also kind of a weird inclusion because he too has been at it for a while. His Gazebo album dropped in 2017, and then he had that Confetti project that came out in 2019. He hasn't really gotten hot until recently with What's Poppin', which he got the Lyrical Lemonade video for. Jack Harlow, he got that cheat code off of a song that has some catchy bars on it, but frankly is kind of mediocre anyway. I mean, as mediocre as a lot of his other stuff. I guess finally to say about Jack, I don't know if I anticipate any huge changes in sound or style from him into the future. I think he'll remain pretty firmly in that low-key pop rap lane with a trap delivery and lots of cheeky lyrics. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this list. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Do you think it's a good representation of the current landscape, the new talent that is out there? I'll say personally, I am like messing with 4 to 5 people out of this list, or I'm pretty excited, about the future output of 4 to 5 artists on this list. So, I guess we'll see where they take it, and I guess we will see whatever the content coming out of this freshman class ends up being from XXL. Are you guys messing with this list? Let me know in the comments. And over here next to my head is another video for you to check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, XXL, freshman class forever.